Welcome back to Uprising. I'm Sonali. The Supreme Court last week heard oral arguments on the issue of same-sex marriage. The case, Obergefell versus Hodges, consolidates 6 separate lawsuits with a total of 32 plaintiffs that are challenging gay marriage bans in Kentucky, Tennessee, Michigan, and Ohio. 2 years ago, the court issued 2 major rulings on same-sex marriage. First, on the unconstitutionality of California's Proposition 8 marriage ban, and second, on a provision of the Defense of Marriage Act, which apparently violated the Equal Protection Clause. The court is expected to make a ruling on this latest case by June. Currently, same-sex marriage is legal in 37 states. 13 states have actively banned it, either by constitutional amendment or by passing a law. My guest is Marc, the National Campaign Director of Freedom to Marry, author of Winning Marriage, the inside story of how same-sex couples took on the politicians and pundits and won. Welcome to Uprising, Marc.
Thanks for having me.
Now, for years, gay marriage opponents have been doing sort of mental gymnastics to come up with a rational opposition to marriage. What arguments did they trot out last week during oral arguments?
Well, it was actually quite impressive, the argument that they trotted out. Impressive in how really astonishingly off base it was. Their argument was that if gay couples marry, then it's going to somehow harm the institution of marriage, which will cause fewer straight couples to marry, which will then lead to more out of wedlock births, which will harm kids. And so that's, that was their argument. And the justices on our side asked over and over again, do you have any proof for that? Do you, can you justify it in any way? They had absolutely zero proof for it. Their only argument was, well, if there's even 1% chance of that happening, then we have a good reason to not allow gay couples to marry.
So it had something to do with, I understand just from reading the news, the sort of biological linking of parents and children, and somehow that being impacted by gay couples marrying. But of course, the standard responses to that, which is, for example, how do those same arguments apply to straight couples who adopt, probably don't have good answers, right?
Right. Straight couples who adopt.
Or couples who choose not to have children, yeah.
Couples who choose not to have children, couples who are too old to have children. And of course, the most powerful arguments are that, or what about gay couples who do have kids and who are raising kids and who, and whose kids are stigmatized and harmed because their parents can't get married. So it was, and there were, in this case, there's some incredibly powerful couples who have adopted kids, foster kids, and whose families are harmed because they can't get married. And so, this sort of hypothetical situation of, based on nothingness compared to the real harms to real families was quite striking.